After just playing a really cool co-star character in Fallout and booking a few recent SAG commercials, and this month having to officially get my SAG card, a lot of people ask me how I personally became an actor. Now, there are many videos on YouTube telling you pathways in which you can become a successful actor. There are many successful actors that speak on their way in interviews. There are numerous ways to break into this industry, but most of them are to a pathway of failure. I've been in Los Angeles for 8 years now, this March. I'm originally from Arizona. I was lucky enough to be close enough to one of the main central hubs in the entire planet for filmmaking. I wanted to tell you 4 ways in which I navigated this very difficult industry. Number one, first and foremost, is gonna be honing a technique and learning the fundamentals of what it is to be an actor. I went to Arizona State University, and I did have my major in theater, concentration in acting, so I was specifically in the acting concentration. So I went to school specifically honing that art form. It behooves you to read anything by Stanislavski. I'd say he's the father of modern acting, as well as anything Chekhov. But I'm sure you guys have heard of names like Stella Adler or Uta Hagen or Lee Strasberg. When it comes to acting, I think it's important to research with a wide berth. I don't think it's smart to pigeonhole yourself in any one main technique, especially since each character will require a different part of you and a different section of exploration to be able to reach a sense of truth. And all acting is reacting and being truthful. And you can do that by playing around. That's why they call it a play in theater. And once you're able to get over this hurdle of, ego and be able to understand what you're doing is, if it's good or if it's bad, being able to observe yourself objectively and be able to observe yourself in a way that's non-judgmental, but to give your all to the craft, then you're able to sort of get to the next step. But most importantly is to start building your resume and get some headshots. The only way to really get good is to be on sets or to be on stage and to act. I personally found that building my resume came with a little bit of luck, as well as a little bit of just faking it till you make it, which is all acting is. So auditioning for plays, auditioning for local plays, auditioning for anything. So just taking every opportunity as it comes. When I was in college at Arizona State University, there's this sort of database in which the filmmakers and actors can collaborate. Filmmakers constantly needed actors to be able to make their short films, and there was that ability for us actors, especially in the acting concentration, to do sort of broad audition tape, and that would go out to the database for any filmmaker to want to reach out. And so being able to take these just random gigs started building a resume for myself. And then I had to get some headshots. This is the reason why headshots are important, because before I get to this next step of finding representation, I want to say the process of getting representation is sort of the same process into auditioning into any sort of class or any sort of workshop, at least back when I was doing those things. So I needed to have, when you still printed out stuff, a resume with some sort of good representative photo of myself plastered to the back or in the corner of the front. During high school, I had braces, so the only professional photos I have was me with braces, but that wasn't a good representation of myself. Plus, I was growing my hair out. So I would say I don't personally think headshots are the end-all be-all. That's just me because I'm so anti-suit and anti the business side of acting, but that doesn't mean I discredit it and don't participate in it. I know how important a headshot is. It's the first thing the auditor will see. And I think this sort of is gonna lead into the next point, but the audition process teaches you that you're there sort of for a job interview, but the people on the other side of the table on your team, they wanna cast somebody, they wanna cast somebody really good. And if you don't book it, that just means you aren't good for the part. It doesn't necessarily mean you're bad. So if you come prepared with one, a good resume and a good headshot to even submit, 9 times out of 10, if you get the audition, that means you look considerably like this part, like this character. So it actually takes a lot of the nervousness out of the bite. So yeah, getting into the next part then, I'd say representation. Sort of honorary mention before the representation though. Everything I was saying prior to my representation, I was doing myself. I was submitting myself. I was hungry enough to do myself. I watched an interview by Matt Damon give an actor advice, and I give this same advice to anybody. Don't do it. There's a reason why it's the hardest art form to succeed in and become famous, quote unquote, because it's the last step in one of the most grueling forms of art, which is, you know, theater and films. Being an actor is being able to sell this person as somebody that's valuable or can be valuable in the industry. Because, and this is important, reps only make money if you book. Let me say that again. You should not be paying any rep. Reps only make money if you book. And there's 2 types of representation. There is managers and there are agents. I'm not gonna get too much into the nuance of that. They pretty much do the same thing nowadays, but it's really just a percentage of how much you're paying them out, whether it's, you know, 15 or 10, 15 or 20. But again, I'm not gonna, that's a conversation we can have another time. That being said, finding a good rep is important because you could waste years of your life. Now, the hard part about finding a rep was I had no idea that I even needed to find a rep or how to find a rep, because unfortunately in a lot of these schools and in these acting classes, this is why these are 2 separate things, they don't teach you that. Learning how to act and learning the business of acting are 2 different things. I think that's the most important thing I can say in this entire video. Finding a rep, there's 2 ways that I did it and there's 2 ways that most people do it. Either go to the SAG-AFTRA franchise list, or you can go to IMDb Pro, which you pay for, which is like $24 a month. Now, I've heard some people say they split that price with their friends, which is really smart to do. But either way, an easy way is, I would say easier would be the IMDb Pro route, but if you want to do it for free, SAG-AFTRA franchise list. So there's only 5 agents like that in Arizona. I submitted to every single one of them, only got 1 back. They said, no thank you because you have braces. Go back to that story. I said, I don't have braces. They said, all right, send us a selfie. Sent it with them and I booked them. While I was still in college, I became a working actor. While I did that, I got my first headshots, which were like $700. Spruced up my resume. Started booking some more professional gigs. That's how I got my first rep. And through that, I was able to get scouted from a rep in Atlanta. And that same rep was friends with another rep out here in Los Angeles that I was with. So I'm no longer with any of those reps. I'm with a whole new team out here. I'm still with the Atlanta rep, actually, sorry. You know, that brings me to the last point, which is social media and making your own projects. Most people hate to hear the social media thing, and I used to too. When I first moved out here, I didn't have, you know, nearly any followers. And then I built my following up on Instagram to, I don't know what it's at right now, 125,000 or something. And, you know, I've built a small following on here on YouTube. But 2 things about social media. 1, it shows that you have a built-in audience. That's great for casting directors, producers, directors, and your social media is a resume nowadays. People go to that and see what you're doing, see what sort of projects you're in, see what you're making yourself. As an artist creates, I don't care how cool you are, not participating on the social media side of things, and that can mean doing anything. You don't have to do cringe stuff, but not participating in something that is inherently what you're gonna be doing anyways as an actor, you know, it sends the wrong message, especially when you're starting out, because you're nobody. Once you become as big as Leonardo DiCaprio, sure, delete your social media. But it's another tool for, 1, the business side to want to work with you, and then separately, a way to display your work, which I think is the way I treat social media, which is the way all artists should treat their social media. Many actors that actually got their start, like a Sylvester Stallone, Vin Diesel, to name some quick ones, you know, Seth Rogen, a lot of these people started out by making their own projects and being able to create a space for themselves. If there's anything that was discouraging that I said, I don't think acting's for you. But if all I said is one doable and you're already doing it, then you're on the right path. Whether you're a Nepo baby, whether you're poor, whether you're rich, I think just weathering the storm is the most important thing, especially right now more than ever. It's easier than ever to make your own stuff, but it's more saturated and harder than ever to break into the industry. Hopefully I said something that you didn't know. Either way, like, share, subscribe. Feel free to go watch my short films that I make on this channel. Yeah, I'd love to share some more with you guys someday. All right, cheers.